What I'm about to go through in this video is the exact systems and processes that I've generated over $320,000 a month across all my clothing brands like 1million, Brimmer, and St. P. But you know what's even more fucking cooler? These are the exact systems and processes that took 8 of my clients in the past 4 months all the way from 0 to hitting their first 5k a month and even some past 20k a month. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because of one simple fact. If you actually lock in and actually consume the information that I'm about to go through in this video, you can do the same. And no, I'm not fucking guaranteeing you anything, I'm not guaranteeing success. And quite frankly, the only thing I'll ever guarantee is that you're going to go through a lot of fucking problems when scaling. But the one thing I will guarantee you is that you're going to be 100 times closer to your revenue goal for your clothing brand after you watch this video. As a Christmas gift / New Year's gift for you guys, at the end of the video, I've made a clear step-by-step checklist. So all you have to do is just check these checklists off to make sure you've done everything well with the ads to make your ad successful. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. Now, before you waste 10-20 minutes of your time, the question is why you should listen to me. Just want to show you my in-house brands that I manage the ad accounts personally. St. P, 1million, Brimmer. Now you're probably wondering, here are the brands. Now you're probably wondering, would this even work for me? Even though I'm a new brand or my brand is small, okay? Some of my clients like Charlotte, YC, Shay, Genovia, Chris, Brimmer all went from 0 all the way to 5k plus, even some hitting 20k a month, okay? Now, brands we're partnered with, PV, Pluto Golf, Lonely Trike, Society, Ethereal, Wax, Garments, etc, etc, okay? Now, we got that over and done with. I'm a pretty simple guy, and I really do believe this ad industry, this agency ad meta bullshit is really overcomplicated. And I truly believe if you really just take your time to watch this video, consume everything that I'm about to tell you, you can run ads and scale your brand to minimum 5k a month by yourself. The one thing that I do want you to understand is you have to understand that nobody is coming to save your brand. No agency, no marketing guru, no, not even me, okay? It all comes down to literally, in 2026, the knowledge and skill set that you have as a brand operator, okay? 90% of the stuff that I'm actually going to talk to you today is everything we have outside of the ads, because ads is only an amplifier, okay? If our creatives, organic, product hype is not there, then our ads are not going to work, right? I'm going to break down the strategy into 4 different pillars, okay? So, phase 1 is the actual foundation of a successful clothing brand, how to set your brand up in terms of your ideal customer profile, your unique selling point, your unique mechanism of your brand. So a marketing angle can be towards something more than just fucking clothes. Phase 2 is product demand, okay, developing a product that can be used for ads, because again, product is quite frankly the value we provide to the market, which is very important. Phase 3 is our creative ecosystem. Creatives are everything. Building an actual creative ecosystem. How to build the creatives. What creatives do we even need to run for the ads? Going through that. And obviously phase 4, which is the actual ad setup. Okay? So, let's get straight to it. Okay, phase 1, this probably is the most important part, and the information here is probably very untalked about. You probably can't find this information anyway. Foundation of a successful clothing brand. 3 objectives. Brand that can be trusted, brand that has a unique value proposition, and brand that serves a solution to a specific ICP, okay? Without this, ads will not work. It's like going into a physical store, and while you're shopping, right at the shop, it smells bad, there's cracked tiles, the fucking clothes have dirt on it. It's not a good presentation. If it has that sort of presence of a brand, that means trust isn't there. The likeliness of the product perceived value drops, and you're just not going to buy it. Okay. Now, the main thing is, how do you build trust? And there's 3 main ways that you can do it. Number 1 is ideal profile optimization. I'm going to show you an example. Okay. If you go to Aloe over here, okay, and you look at these creatives, let's just put Aloe out the way. You just put these creatives. Right, from the bio, inspiring mind, body, wellness from Sue to street, and you see these creatives. We can tell it's a good brand, right? It's a good luxury brand. The thing is, right, it's how the brand is presented through the Instagram content. Right, from the bio to the clean story highlights with the logo, consistent branding creatives, right, utilizing different images from different models, different face. The aesthetic seasonal, right, it's Christmas, winter, seasonal stuff. Back in autumn, right, they have the autumn stuff, etc, etc. But most importantly, quality is there, and that's the most important part, okay? Quality control. Every single creative that you put out, you need to be top tier quality. You don't want to post just because for the sake of fucking posting. Everything needs to be controlled in terms of the actual quality aspect, okay? And going to this is brand aesthetic, fonts, logo, consistency should all be thrown at the Instagram and the actual website itself. Now, how to build your ICP for your customer, for your brand, okay? ICP stands for your ideal custom profile. In description is basically detailed description of the perfect company or customer for your product or service, outlining characteristics, okay? To develop our ICP, the first thing that we need to do is get real specific with our customer characteristics, which are our traits and specifics. So explain to me what your perfect customer behavior is, okay? Now I'm going to give you an example here. Let me just move my mic this way. For example, I have a gym brand. My customer characteristic is not they're interested in gym, they're 18 to 30-year-old male, and they're ambitious. That's what most people put, and this is why most people fail this clothing brand shit, because they don't understand this aspect. This is way too broad, right? We need to give them a reason. For example, if I'm in the gym niche, why would they buy from my 500 follower brand, and why wouldn't they buy from Gymshark? We have to give leverage and find a reason for them to actually trust us and buy from us, right? So my customer characteristic is 18-year-olds who go to the gym, ideally past 11 p.m, only has one or two friends they trust and talk to, is depressed and relies on the gym as a gateway for themselves to improve his mental health and body as he is insecure about his body, super ambitious and wants a bright future for himself and his family. Now, that's a bit more detailed, right? And again, we're not selling to only 18-year-olds, but we're literally just demonstrating our perfect characteristics of our ICP. Now, after the characteristics, we need to basically segment this into different audience, which I like to call audience segmentation. So within those characteristics, what type of audience can be built off that, right? And three sort of examples come from my sort of characteristics, okay? Number one is athletes. Number two is up-and-coming bodybuilders just because they're super young. And number three is entrepreneurs, okay? After we've worked out with the audience segments, now we need to go into the pain points, because this is the most important part. Every single creator that we pull, every single content that we pull, every single product that we pull is in relation to the ICP pain point, because we want to trigger an emotional reaction out of them, and we're solving that pain. Quite frankly, with our products, the mic went out, okay? Now, this is the most important part. Pain point is where our concept, angles, and marketing positioning will come from, right? For example, an athlete pain point can be clothing restricts movement during compound explosive lifts, sweat retention causes discomfort and distraction mid-session, and third, gym wear wears out quickly under high training volume again. Now, if we just go with the athlete pain point, clothing restricts movement, okay? Already a creative idea on positioning the pain point of restriction movement. Give us them ads on the creative sides, right? So for example, our brand has this specific mechanism that allows you to move during this specific sport or gym exercises, while the brand doesn't do that, right? Already, we create leverage for the customers to buy from us, right? Now, sort of tying everything down, simple question that you need to ask is, what makes your brand different from your top competitors, right? Not your product, but your brand, right? It's like saying, okay, cool. If I have a gym brand and I'm just targeting athletes, what makes my brand different from Gymshark? Why would an athlete buy from my brand, not Gymshark? That we haven't given them a reason to. Now, if it goes specific into, let's just say from this perfect characteristic, our gym brand is ideally for people who are depressed, gateway, and who's heavily ambitious, want a bright future for himself. Again, people that relate to this, and we position our content and marketing that way, finds a benefit and sort of relatability to our brand rather than Gymshark's brand. Right, so we created a specific ICP that we can target, right? And that's how we do it, by building the right brand foundation, okay? Number three is product demand. And there's three main objectives with this as well. Number one is building a unique selling point with the product, which is a USP, so the unique mechanism of the product, okay? Number two is product needs to be the solution to a certain group of ICP, okay? It needs to solve a specific problem, okay? Number three is leveraging your product as the only product in the market. We do not want to blend, okay? Now, we need to have, essentially, before you run ads, or the ads are not going to work if we don't have a product that is market ad fit, okay? And what do I mean by product that is market ad fit, okay? Number one is a product that is already in trend within your niche, a product that is unique in the market, has gotten several attention before dropping. So for example, if you've seen camo hoodies and we have camo sweats, you've seen the attention of the camo hoodies, so it has potential in the terms of the actual design of it, okay? Third is organic marketing engagement anomaly. So you post it like a mock-up and it has got a crazy amount of organic interest, DMs, telling people where this actually is. Third last is a product that can solve a direct solution. So for example, if I'm selling gym gear and it has sort of sweat resistance, that's a direct solution it can provide, right? Hey, I can solve, you don't have to sweat anymore and smell bad. My product solves that, for example, okay? A product that has been proven design fundamentals, okay? Like again, sort of the same example I was using before as a camera stuff. And lastly, a product that has existing market demand, okay? So for example, if you're seeing, I keep using this example for some reason, camera sweats, you've seen it done well, right? That's a good chance of working well for your brand if you position it correctly, right? It's going to be very, very hard to scale a clothing brand with a product that is not market fit. Your product is essentially the value we provide to your market. So you need to make sure it is something when your ideal customer profile sees the product, it finds immediate interest and sparks curiosity, sparks interest in aesthetic, and sparks interest in, oh, it can solve my direct problem or an indirect problem. Okay, an indirect problem, obviously I've given you the direct problem example. An indirect problem could be something where you give off status, emotional support, and stuff like that. Okay, now the type of product that we don't want. Number one is a product that has absolutely zero engagement organic, just does not have the pre-ab attention, obviously excluding family and friends because they're biased and you should not use their opinions on actually trying to build a business. Number three, a product that is not proven random designs, no design fundamentals, and it's just bullshit you made up in 5 minutes with Canva. Okay, third one is a product that does not solve anything, just a T with a logo with no branding, no story. Okay, so if you have this product, right, and you don't have a product market outfit, then you're probably not ready to run ads just yet. Okay, now the third one is building an actual creative ecosystem, and it's pretty simple because there's three main objectives with this. Okay, objective number one is know what type of creatives that we need to product to scale, right? Obviously we want to know what we need to make. Number two is having an environment where we can develop that creatives. Third is having the facilities to develop high quality creatives consistently in a fast pace. Okay, now I did make a whole 20-minute videos just going down the clothing brand system that made me 2.1 million revenue this year. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in bio. If you have not watched this already, stop this video, watch this, come back, because this is by far the most important thing other than your ICP. Okay, because in phase 4 we're actually going to go to actually how to set up the ads, right? The correct structure that we use on all our brands to scale. Okay, one thing I want you to understand with ads too is you don't actually need like a big ad budget. Okay, even if you have an acquisition of, this is the most frequent question I get asked. Hey, how much do I need to spend on ads? And I always ask, how much do you have or want to spend on ads that you're comfortable losing on? Okay, and that's the most important part, what you're actually comfortable losing on. So for example, if you're comfortable losing $300 a month consistently and you're fine with it and you won't, you'll have food to eat on the table, then that's your ad budget, and that's what I want you to start. Because the reason we don't want to run ads, and whereas we're in a position where this has to work, or this is my last $1,000 and I need to make it to work, is because by then we'll make a lot of our decisions on our emotion, which quite frankly is the biggest downfall of everything. We want to make decisions of real KPIs and data. Okay, so we're going to touch base on that. Phase 4 is basically ad setup. I'm going to show you the exact framework on how to actually set up the ads. Okay, so let's go through it. Objective, obviously setting up the ads to scale. We go through an ABO setup, which is ad set budget optimization. Okay, main objective is sales, but also trying to find a creative vertical and variable that works best within your brand. Okay, now we're gonna have one campaign, okay, and then we're gonna have 2 ad sets to launch together. Okay, and in each ad set you should have one main vertical focus. This is especially important for an ABO setup. For example, an ad set 1 is just for model pictures, then your creatives should all just be different iterations of that vertical, right? And what I mean by vertical focus is basically a concept of creative. So an ad set 1 can be, let's just say, flat lay, and then ad set 2 can just be model pictures. Right, those are 2 different styles of creatives, right, that split up into an ad set. So I'm actually going to demonstrate to you guys something. So for example, okay, each ad set here is one vertical, one concept of creative. So let's just say this one is flat lay, and then this one is model. Simple. Okay, now in each creatives, as mentioned above, all your creatives should be models. However, the variables can be varied. Right? So for example, if this is flat lay and this is the main vertical that we're focusing on this ad set, creative 1 can be flat lay 1 with red hoodie, creative 2 can be flat lay with red hoodie with a grass background, creative 3 can be a blue hoodie with a concrete background, creative 4 can be a gray hoodie with the same background. Doesn't matter, as long as they're different from each creative. like this, but follows the main vertical as the ad set. Same thing with the model, okay? Creative 1 can be girl model, Creative 2 can be male model, Creative 3 can be the same girl model but maybe with a different background, Creative 4 can be the same girl model but with a different product wearing it. She's wearing a different product. Same thing, but basically, as long as it follows a model vertical, but same iterations to it, okay? And there's a reason why we're doing it, because the thing that we're trying to figure out is, number one, what style of creatives are working the best in terms of spread and KPI, and lastly, within the concept, what type of product, what type of background, and why the creative's working, we can sort of reverse engineer it in the ad level. So one campaign, ad set, we always want to compare verticals versus vertical, and then have different iterations to support the main vertical testing, okay? Remember, this is an ABO setup, so all changes with anything needs to be in the ad set level. So ABO, ad set budget optimization. So the budget is being placed in the ad set, okay? Before you make any decision, make sure the ad set has enough spend. My rule of thumb is basically spend at least the average order value of your product of advertising. So for example, if your AOV is $100, we want to at least spend $150 on each ad set, right? Or the campaign before making any decisions. This is super important. So for example, let's just say you did have a flat layer, you did have a model, and you set it up exactly like this, right? Now we need to understand data, okay? If it does not have spend, make sure to look at these key metrics. So if it does have spend, okay? The first thing that we have to look at, it does it hit your break-even or target ROAS? How many sales away is it from being profitable? Second thing is, does it follow the 1-3-6 rule? Okay, and the reason why I'm sort of rushing over this is because I'm going to go through this on later. Okay, 1-3-6 rule. So every one purchase, you should get 3 checkouts initiated. For every 3 checkouts initiated, you should get 7 to 8 add to carts, around 6 add to carts. Okay, and your click-through rate, which shows a creative fall through. Okay, as mentioned above, all your creative should be models. How the varies can be varied. Creative, for example, that same example, creative 1 can be girl model, creative 2 can be boy model, etc., etc. As you can see, by doing that, we create different variables under the same vertical. Okay, now this is literally the setup. So for example, let's just say flat lay one, this ad set. Let me get rid of everything here and show you what I mean. One second. Okay, let's just say flat lay here, and then we have model. Let's just say flat lay didn't perform well, and model is getting a good ROAS, and he's hitting our KPI, and flat lay isn't. What we will do is then we will kill this off, right, and then add a new ad set, right, with a different vertical to test, right? Let's just say, let's go studio shoot. That was horrendous, but studio shoot. So you get the chance, right? So model 1 will keep running it, and that's why we split it up into ABO, so you can get fair testing on the budget, because ABO, Facebook's not making decision, we are making decision when it comes to the budget. Okay, now the reason I really touch base on this is because I go through the actual step-by-step on one of my brands ad accounts, setting up this live video going down how to analyze each KPI from a real example. So I already made a video on this, on how to do this. Okay, so if you haven't, I'm going to put this link in the bio. This is probably one of the best fucking videos I've ever released. So much value. Give this a watch. Come back, okay? Now, this is the main juice part of this video. Checklist for success. If you have this, there is no reason why you can't scale your brand 5K a month with ads. And I'm going to go through it one by one with you. Number 1, just make sure your product is market fit. If you're watching this, you know what your product is market fit, okay? Number 2, a clear ICP. Not just, if I'm having a streetwear brand, my ICP isn't just streetwear people who is fucking ambitious. Okay, be very specific in terms of characteristics, then segment into different audiences, and then from the audiences, okay, identify the clear pain points from it. Third is your unique selling point plus product is developed. Your product needs to solve a direct solution, right? Provide a direct solution to your ICP, so figure that out. 4 is have a full understanding of your ICP pain point, because every single creative that we make, flat lay model, everything that we do, marketing comes from your ICP pain points, right? For example, if your gym brand is targeting people who struggle with sweat, then why the fuck will we make a creative that talks about fucking soccer? Right? That doesn't make sense. Okay. Number 5 is you should have watched this creative video already. Okay, is have the environment to develop the creatives. Number 6, knowledge to develop the right creatives, which these two you should have solved by watching that first video that I told you to. Okay. Number 7 is understanding the testing of ad structure, so the basic ABO setup, vertical iterations through ad levels. 8, making decisions of numbers, not emotions. This is why we control the budget at the beginning on what I told you to do. Okay, super important. Number 9 is having a testing mindset. Your testing with ads never end. Okay, you're always going to test as a clothing brand owner until you die. That's just the game of it. My main goal with this video is to show you our framework and how we develop these ads, because as you can see, the setup is only the 20% of it. We actually work a lot on the foundation, the products, and the actual creatives of it. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram, but most importantly, hope you got some good value out of this. And if you actually want to speak to me and my team and actually create a one-on-one plan for your brand specifically, book a call below. We're here to help you out.